sensible ways to fix your broken marriage. Hi friends, welcome to Marriage Realities, a comprehensive relationship channel. Today's video is all about the sensible ways to fix your broken marriage. What does a broken marriage actually signify? A broken marriage might mean an unhappy relationship between you and your spouse. It might also mean a marriage that has ended in the divorce court. Whatever might a broken marriage mean, it brings tremendous mental tension and misery into your life. You want to enjoy a happy married life with your spouse, but you find it near impossible to live through your marriage as you're plagued with multiple family issues and relationship problems. Many a time, your heart pounds in alarm that your marriage might be broken any moment. That much of relationship issues and problems encompass your married life. You experience nothing but unhappiness, bitterness, and resentment in your relationship. What are the signs that signify that yours is a broken marriage? You no longer communicate your love to your spouse. Both spit venom of hatred against each other. Both argue for almost everything for days together. Both find consistent faults in each other. When such is the scenario of your married life, it just means that there's nothing good left in your relationship. You must definitely repair your broken marriage before it's decapitated beyond repair. Shall we now have a look at the 5 sensible ways to repair your broken marriage? The number 1 way to repair your broken marriage is to understand that you're in the same team. You cannot isolate yourself from your spouse in your married life. If you degrade your spouse, it just means you're degrading your marriage. When you insult your spouse, the insult is on you too. More like putting the goal in your own court. This will never work. You must understand the simple fact that your life journey will always be with your spouse. You'll only make your life unhappy by having constant tug-of-war with your spouse. When you constantly fight with your spouse, your married life will become a tense existence to you. What is the use of needlessly fighting with your spouse and making yourself unhappy? What is the use of prolonging your mental agony by differing with your spouse for almost everything? Instead, you should discuss with your spouse about the issues that is making you feel unhappy and miserable in your married life. When you make your discussion with your spouse friendly and reasonable, he or she will definitely listen to you. And when you realize that your spouse means a lot to you, you will never make a big issue out of his or her minor mistakes. The number 2 way to repair your broken marriage is by overlooking the faults of your spouse. Your spouse will never be perfect. You must understand that you two are not perfect. Looking for perfections in your spouse is a grave relationship blunder. Your spouse will always be a person with his or her own share of mistakes and faults. You too have your own share of mistakes and faults, isn't it? So, overlook the faults of your spouse. Understand the simple fact that your spouse will always be different from you, as he or she is from a different family background and upbringing. So accept the different way of looking at life by your spouse without making an issue out of it. When you overlook the faults of your spouse, half of your relationship issues will be solved. The number 3 way to repair your broken marriage is to start communicating. Do you know the trouble to your marriage starts when you stop communicating with your spouse? When you do not interact with your spouse, a shroud of secrecy envelops your relationship. This sort of unwanted secrecy makes you feel uneasy in your relationship. You will not know what your spouse has in his or her mind if you do not interact with each other. Unless you discuss your plans, your spouse will not know what you're up to. When you stop talking with your spouse, he or she can only assume what is in your mind. Invariably, the assumptions of your spouse will be negative and wrong about you. These wrong assumptions your spouse has about you will pulverize your married life as nothing else can. Instead, when you share your feelings with your spouse and confess to him or her about your plans and intentions, it will definitely clear the foggy atmosphere in your marriage. The number 4 way to repair your broken marriage is by being sharing. Most of your relationship issues erupts when you isolate yourself from family problems. When you act as though you have nothing to do with the family issues that consistently crop into your married life, your spouse turns furious against you. In your marriage, sharing household chores is a huge relationship problem that induces needless arguments between you and your spouse. Sharing financial commitments is also a huge relationship issue between you. When you feel that it's the duty of your spouse to bear the brunt of your family's financial commitments, it creates tons of resentment and bitterness in your married life. Your marriage will always be about you and your spouse. It will never be about you alone. So, when you willingly share every one of your family issues along with your spouse, it instantly brightens your relationship. The number 5 way to repair your broken marriage is to let bygones be bygones. Many a time you're angry with your spouse, and many a time your spouse is angry with you. This is a common marriage scenario. When you hold on to your anger, you will never forgive your spouse. You should immediately forget the anger you felt against your spouse. You should take the words spoken by your spouse in the right spirit. Do not make a huge mountain out of the arguments and fights you had with your spouse. It is strange that you forgive your friends or relatives but find it impossible to forgive your spouse. This is not the way to live your married life. Let bygones be bygones. When you take such simple and sensible steps, you can easily repair your broken marriage. Your marriage is not about who is better than who. It is all about we mean so much to each other. When you understand this simple relationship technique, you will definitely enjoy your relationship with your spouse. Did this video make you understand the simple ways to repair your broken marriage? Marriage Realities will have many such relationship eye-openers. Subscribe to my channel to understand your marriage in a new light. Press the bell icon for updates about my latest relationship videos. Make love forever until death do us part, your relationship goal.